Hello, this is Ulrich Wienecke again. Today I'm talking about Campanian gastropods and evolutionary view, so I cannot talk about all Campanian gastropods, so I have chosen two groups. What's the background of this talk? In 2023 a book was published, Fossilien aus dem Campan von Hannover. We have described 147 species. I was a co-author, and many of them were not known to science, or still not known. And we took this as a basis for the revision. Well, within the revision, we edit new material. We edit material from the Münster area, from northern Germany, from Poland, and from the Ukraine. And today I want to talk about two groups, the Xenophoridae and the Pterocerellidae, and their evolution as far as we have found out. Let's begin with the Xenophoridae. The Xenophoridae is a group of shells that have a trochoid outline and that has agglutinated foreign objects to its shell. These foreign objects may be gastropods, bivalves, corals, or etc. etc. In the fossils, you usually do not find the agglutinated objects. You have some scars, the remains of this object. So the fossil xenophorids are mainly not that nice, especially in the Cretaceous. They look ugly, and that might be a reason that a lot of collectors haven't picked them up. And so the material of xenophorids from the Cretaceous is very rare. Background for this analysis, also a publication by Alison Irvin et al. In 2024, where they performed a DNA analysis of the Stromboidea, and there are some interesting results in there. The first result is that Xenophoridae belong to Stromboidea. So this is all Stromboidea, and this is a Xenophoridae. Second, you see that the genus genera in Xenophoridae are mixed. That is very strange, and there is already an ongoing there's also already ongoing research. Second point is that the Aporidae are related to the Stromboidea, and there is a big difference. The Aporidae have a rostrum, you can see here. The Xenophoridae do not have a rostrum, so they do not have a rostrum. So up to now, and you can also find this in mollusca base and worms, the Xenophoridae are grouped together with Euraciphorus and with Lamelliphorus. Euraciphorus had been shown by Grindel that it is a vetigastropod by protoconch analysis, so this is not a kenogastropod like the Xenophorids. Lamelliphorus is a little bit more similar to Xenophora, but there is, in my opinion, one big morphological difference. The ornamentation on the base of the shell in Lamelliphorids is large, with ribs and spiral ornament, and in Xenophora it's mainly, not smooth, but with very shallow ornament, and it do not have ribs on the base. So we think that the grouping of the Lamelliforidae into Stromboidea is wrong. It is, in my opinion, a sister to Australium, where we find similar elements like in Lamelliforidae. Okay, a little bit more in detail. We find in the Polyplochum zone of Hannover 3 different morphologies, and we think that are 3 different species. One is a typical xenophorid. You see this the scars here and here and here, so it's a little bit larger. Here you see the remains of an object that has been fixed to it. This is typical xenophorid. We also find 2 different forms that are much smaller than the first one and that have very long spines. Long spines and sometimes this kind of bumps. The spines can be very long, and you also see some scars here where there were objects agglutinated, but only very rarely. So this group of shells has been defined as Acanthoxenophora, and the first the types species of Acanthoxenophora comes from the Maastrichtian of Mexico. So we think we have similar forms here. These 2 forms can be easily distinguished. This has a very deep suture and bumps. This has a more shallow suture and no bumps on the last wall. Well, let's look into the evolutionary results. We think our spiny ones, this is the Mexican one, our spiny ones are closely related to the Turonian Cognacian forms that already have been published as Guilfordia. In Turonia we have one specimen which clearly shows scars. This do not show, but in this Santonian one you see bumps. So we think they all belong together, and we will describe them as Acanthoxenophora from the boreal of northern Europe. We found this typical Xenophora, but we also find in the upper Campanian, lower Maastrichtian of the Ukraine a shell which is from the genus Aspidophoreas. This is the oldest Aspidophoreas we found. So where do they come from? The spines let us think that they are coming from a spiny group, the Spinilomatidae, and this Murex calza from the lower Cretaceous has 2 or 3 rows of spines, similar to this ones, because the spines are in different levels and we have 2 or 3 rows of spines. They have bumps. We also have those bumps. The difference is they have a rostrum. You see that maybe more or less long or short. And this do not have a rostrum. But the early walls do not show any spines, same as here. We do not have any spines on the early walls. So we think we have a lot of characters to place the Acanthoxenophora into the Spinilomatidae, which goes back to the Jurassic and seem to be a group of the earliest Stromboideans. There is one little bit doubtful species from the upper Triassic, and well, we think this may be the origin of the xenophorids. Second group I want to talk about are the Pterocerellidae. Pterocerellidae usually have 4 fingers, 1 is a rostrum and 3 of this kind of digits. All digits are channeled and they have on the last wall 2 keels. These are typically Pterocerellidae, with some exceptions you can see on the next wall. We think that the origin of the Pterocerellidae is the genus Dicroloma in the Jurassic. Dicroloma has 2 keels on the last wall, has 3 spines, and the one along the spire is missing. If you add to Dicroloma the 1 spine along the spire, you're getting this group. This is Ceratoziphon. Ceratoziphon has 4 long but more or less simple digits. You can find them also in the Maastrichtian, from the lower Cretaceous to the Maastrichtian. The Maastrichtian ones and upper Cretaceous ones are not found in Europe. But they are found in South America, in Australia and in Japan. Okay, we have a second group with 4 digits, but that additionally have something, a big calloused object called Victa varix on the back. So this is called Tessarolax. Tessarolax is found in the upper Cretaceous of the Pacific area of North America and Japan. So this is related there. In Europe we have this group. This is called Tundora. Tundora is similar to Ceratoziphon, but always have this strange ornament on the lower spine. So this group all have a simple rostrum, but we have also a group of shells with a bifurcated rostrum. So we have 2 digits here, and they are from lower to upper Cretaceous found, and in the upper Cretaceous, in the upper part of the lower Cretaceous, we also find a shell with a trifurcated rostrum. This trifurcated rostrum we find several times, and here you have something added called shell webbing. This might be the origin in the upper part of the lower Cretaceous to this whole group. We have here two groups. This one has again 4 digits, but some of them are furcated twice or 3 times. And we have another group, this is Pterocerella. We have another group, this is Culturigera, which is missing 1 digit. Instead you have an Y-shaped ornamental part here. So this also seems to belong together. We have still some Dicroloma similar shells in the upper part of the lower Cretaceous, and we have one group, Trilemma, which can be identified by this part. The lower lateral digit is broadened in one way. Sometimes it's perpendicular to the shell, sometimes it's in the shell level, but we can find this kind of shells from the lower Cretaceous to the Maastrichtian in the upper Cretaceous. So thanks for your attention, and thanks to the team working on these groups. Thanks to Manfred Heising, Joachim Peter, Manuel Pitzonka, and Hans Tautjesteig. And we also thank all the museums and the collectors who have supported us with material.